Welcome everyone. I'd like at this time to ask everyone that if you're going to be present, please turn off your cell phones or put them on silent so that they don't interrupt during the meeting. Before I turn over the mic, I just wanted to make sure everyone's conscious that it's a board meeting. I know sometimes we get emotional because this is your home. You want to make sure that your home is done correctly, everything is in order. But let's keep the peace, please. Okay? When you're acknowledged and you're ready the board is ready to hear your comments, you'll have 3 minutes upon which will be timed for you to say what you need to say. If at that point the board chooses to answer, they'll reply to your questions. Okay? Just please keep that in mind. Again, there's a gavel present. If the gavel is struck, let's try and respect it. It's a symbol of order, and let's keep order. Again, we're trying to conduct business, and the quicker we move along, the quicker we can get things done, the quicker we can go home with peace. Okay? This time I'll turn it over to the Vice President.
Please, I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting. I'd like to start with the fact that we tried to, Ricardo, the president, he could not make it tonight, so we'll run this meeting without him. We tried to adjust his schedule, but unfortunately, it's so difficult in his schedule, he couldn't make it right in time, so we didn't want to delay any longer. With that, I'd like to start with the roll call, please.
Edgar Maldonado.
Eugenio Polito.
Boris Vena.
Jane Freed.
Yoshana Kevins.
Esther Hahn.
The first item on our agenda would be the minutes of the last meeting. I'd like to introduce Jane.
At the Board of Directors meeting and members meeting August 7, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. There was some heated discussion between a few residents and Boris. All happened even before the meeting was officially opened. The opening statement was made by Boris. The meeting was opened at 7:45. Present at the meeting were President Ricardo Sanchez, who arrived at 8:10 after being delayed in heavy traffic, Esther Hart, Shana Kefis, Jane Freed, Eugene Bolito, and Boris Vena. Also in attendance were our property manager, Victor Mendez, and our office manager, Olga. The minutes were read and accepted. Then I, Jane Freed, gave a big thank you to property manager Victor for activating channel 590 so that we could all view the meetings on our televisions. Another thank you to our office manager, Olga, for taping the meeting. We then had a presentation from Juan, our certified general contractor, on the status of the pool and the pool deck. The pool is finished 100%. I'm sorry. The roof is finished 100%. The pool deck 72%. The rebobs guaranteed for 10 years. Waterproofing complete. The pool, the water will be in 2.5 to 3 weeks. No one goes in yet. We need waterproofing on the pool deck. The cooling tower, 100% finished. This was a critical project, only small issues remain. The pool deck, the survey has gone to the city as per their request. The parking garage was an additional $26,000. We will be releasing parking spaces in the near future. The columns are being fired. Everything is already paid for. We could use money from such as the landscaping if needed. The roof has a 20-year guarantee. The pool has a 10-year guarantee. The structure has a 5-year guarantee. Constant interruption from unit owners. Ricardo answered one unit owner who kept interrupting, very rude. The rebobs totally lost as per Ricardo. Now guaranteed for 10 years. Again, constant interruptions from the audience. The city makes a decision if we can use the pool before the pool deck is done. We need the approval from the city to be able to use the pool. If the city approves the work done on the pool, we would need about 10 days to open the pool and be able to finish the deck, but have the pool open and be able to be used. The manager's report. We have posted report. Our water pump has been replaced. The same unit owner kept interrupting, very rude. It was questioned as why we did not sell unit 118 and make the card room into our office. Issues with our water pumps. Domestic water pump replaced. One needs minor repair. Number 2, we need 2 pumps working to take care of the building. This will bring down our energy costs. We will have a new chandelier in about another week in our lobby. A lot of painting is going on in our building. We are also replacing the wallpaper where needed. Our outside drains, all cleaned. Landscaping soon to be done at a minimal cost by our in-house team. About 1.5 months to see the difference. Again, interruptions from the same unit owner. We will budget at the new year if we need additional funds. Fan on the roof is now working. The vent is also working, and we will paint the laundry rooms. After business hours, our manager informed us his phone is always on. Again, constant interruptions from the same unit owner with Ricardo, Victor, and Eugene. We also had very positive remarks from our president and a rabbi who lives in the building. We did have 27 violations with the elevators left over from the previous manager for us. They were never taken care of in the past. The elevators are 40 years old and we have fixed the critical conditions. We have problems with the laundry room. Please do not overload the machines. We are planning to recycle the machines and have extra machines available. We have complaints about the interior of the elevators. We are trying to extend the life of these elevators. The elevators were too heavy. Elevators were approved for $45,000 for renovation.
Excuse me?
It was 25, 26,
Yeah.
but not 45.
What was it, 26?
25.
25 for all 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll correct that. If we replaced all 5 elevators, cost would have been over $1 million. This was followed by a detailed explanation by our president to our unit owners. We had very powerful answers regarding all things in the building neglected for so many years. There was no discussion about saunas. Our website is being used. We now have over 260 users. To renew upper level garage and new LED light was voted on and approved by the board of directors. Just a reminder, we do now have our meeting on channel 590 for all to view. The meeting was closed at approximately 9:15, and even after the meeting was closed, the same unit owner disrupting the meeting was now disrupting even after the meeting was closed. And it's signed by me, Jane Freed.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our manager, Victor. Your statement, please.
Good evening, everyone. Just touch a few points, nothing critical. Some of you may be aware that we've had some issues with the washer and dryers. We continue to have some issues with the washer and dryers. But in this particular case, it is not the washer and dryers that are fading. It is the voltage that's actually dropping to the point where the machine stops responding to whatever cycle it's on. So we currently have an electrician that's looking at the riser for any voltage drops. We'll have this hopefully remedied this week. So any of those of you who are suffering because of this inconvenience, bear in mind that this week there should be resolved on this. The FOB implementation is going smoothly. I wanted to make sure everyone knows this. We've processed everyone on the floors accordingly. Yeah, can you hear me now? Sorry. All right. So the FOB implementation is going smoothly. We've registered just about everyone that's present in the building and those floors that have been scheduled for up to now. So we're going smoothly on board with that. There is a few issues though. There are unfortunately, even though the building is a no pet zone, there have been many complaints of those who have pets for whatever medical reasons that they just aren't picking up after themselves. If you have a pet, because whatever emotional support, whatever service the animal may provide, please make sure to pick up after yourselves, after the pet. Storage areas. Soon I'll be sending out a letter asking anyone that has any flammables. This means paint, cans, whatever it may be, anything that's flammable inside of your storage bin. I'll be inspecting the bins, and at that point I'll be cutting the lock and removing these flammable items from your storage bin. I'll be sending out this letter. Please make sure when you get a chance, go to your storage unit and make sure you don't have any flammables within your storage unit. You can't have that in there. God forbid something were to happen, look at what happened across the street or the next door. We don't need that happening here. Let's please make sure we gather those stuff up. Bikes. There's a cluster of bikes down there. I'm sure many of you have seen it. If you have, I'll be again sending another letter reminding everyone that if you don't remove your bikes, or if you don't register your bikes with the office and you know that your bike is active and that's a good standing bike, we'll be removing these bikes. We'll have a process for this, and I'll make sure it's detailed in the letter, but we need to do something about these bikes in there. Yeah, it's just a quick note for that. And aside from that, I don't have any other notes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Victor. First, I'd like to approve the minutes that Jane read to us.
For it.
Approve. The minutes. Minutes are approved.
That's correct, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
The next item on the agenda, I move to ratify the approved resolution of new board member Edgar Maldonado.
I second that motion. Take it right here.
Approved. Edgar is our new board member. Right here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Edgar Maldonado. My wife and I bought an apartment here back in May of this year. We're happy to be residents of this condominium. We are also excited and honored to be part of the board where we can hopefully make changes that are good for everyone, not just for any individual, but for everyone as a whole. We are a family, as we are here now, gathered, and we should live a peaceful and uniform life where we can all enjoy each other's company and the things that we have available to us here. Again, I'm honored to be on the board, and I will fight hard and do my best to make it best for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
We never voted for you.
Excuse me?
We never voted for you. We don't know you.
Okay, I
You
don't.
have a chance in February.
Who am I? I'm Edgar Maldonado. I am a pathologist. I used to work, I'm a retired pathologist. I worked for the University of Miami. Okay, presently I work for a company called Osteolife Biomedical. And what I do is I provide dental allografts for human transplant.
How you remember already if you don't know you, we did vote for you?
No, you don't vote for, I'm sorry. This is the board member that is the one that we lost or left, that's a replacement. Usually, what happens in that scenario, the board members look at different candidates and vote on their credentials. So at this point, the board is authorized to vote on individuals. Now, when there's going to be a regular election, like we normally do for the on a biannual basis, then the unit owners will have the mailings, and they will then endorse whoever they feel appropriate.
Just a reminder, those same candidates that are on the board right now and were ratified by the board, they would have to run again in January for the re-election at that point in time.
January next year?
Next year.
January.
And this year,
How many people are going to be, how many empty spaces, how many people are going to be on board running?
If I may, I'll clarify this for you. Okay, whenever a vacancy becomes open on the board here, during the year, the board finds a suitable candidate, and then the board in its whole elects the candidate to fill the position. Now, because this position was filled mid-year, this position is now eligible for elections come this next election. Okay, so the two positions that are available together This year, there's 3 positions available. Going for the elections, at that point in time, you guys will have to submit your candidacy forms if you want to run, and then it would be elected on Tuesday, February 13th, not January.
Excuse me, when are you sending out the mailing forms?
The mailing's already out. You should be receiving it shortly.
Okay. Thank you, Victor. I'd like to move to ratify and approve resolution of new board member James Schultz. James, I don't see him today. He is out of the country, right? He
I
is,
have no idea. I haven't seen him since he's been chosen for the board.
He was approved on the board, so I second that at this point in time.
What's his name?
Joe Schultz.
James Schultz, he is a resident. He lives here for many years. He is the professor. He specializes in hurricanes, and he is a big resource to us, to help us to deal with those kind of issues, especially in Florida. That's why we felt strongly about him. But like I said, he travels a lot outside of the country, you know, and then sometimes he can't make it.
I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You have a board member who has never actually been here. Why still you're a board member? You know, he's never been here. He lives in New York. He never came down, not for even one meeting. He's never been on a speakerphone. What contribution does he bring to the board?
I think that the question is very valid, and I think that it's about time for us to get to that issue and
Why
get
did
a
it take
result.
so long?
So, well, you know, not everybody here lives full-time, and now if he doesn't come in during this season when most people, you know, come for vacation, if he doesn't come in now, that means to me, that will sound to us that this person no longer interested to be a board member, and at that point, we will make a proper decision. But the question is very valid, and we will get to that by the end of this season, for sure.
When is season? Before the
The
next?
season, I mean, when people usually come, you know, from
winter time.
from winter time, you know.
But it's not
no
up to
problem.
him. You, the board member, can decide whether you want to use him or not. You don't have to ask his opinion if he wants
That
to
is
be on
correct.
the board
That
or
is,
not.
you're absolutely right, but there's certain laws that we have to comply with, and we cannot just simply dismiss people like that. So anyways, but this would be it's a very valid point that you're bringing up to our attention, and by the next meeting, we will get that, we'll provide
When's
with
the
it.
next meeting, unit owners meeting?
I believe it's February, right?
No, you're talking about
The next one.
meeting, electing meeting?
No,
Or-
unit owners meeting. We should have the, when?
It's now.
No, today is a board meeting. Unit owners.
Next one is supposed to be in January, and February is election.
So in January.
Can I ask you a question? Is that possible to post?
Okay, let's just wait until we finish. Like we said, if you don't mind, please
No
just
problem.
jot it down, and we'll get to the question. If you don't mind. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda, we need to talk about the approval for the parking rate. I'd like to ratify the approval for that motorcycle parking rate to be increased to $10.
I second that motion.
How much it was before?
I think it was what?
Seven.
Seven? That's for motorcycles. Now I'd like to move, you probably already received the packet which had some modification to rules and regulations. The new sections were added as far as the ops and security system. Minor adjustments were clarified for the guests and visitors, those kind of items, but you should see that. And I'd like to move that we approve the revised rules and regulations as distributed. Approve. Approve. Approve.
There was some, yeah, the rules and regulations, yeah, there were a few
I
things
do
that we
approve it
wanted to
without
go.
waiting
Wait,
for us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's a board meeting only. You can
Uh,
ask after, but it's a meeting.
I am not clear with some of our suggestions for this regulation, and I want to bring up for this discussion. This is very important because some of the rules, it's not gonna be useful and people gonna be distracted. If you permit me to begin, and then who is not
Well,
agreeable.
as we were going through the process here right now, we have 3 people that approve. You either approve it or you don't approve it, and if you don't approve it, we'll state the reason why. So let's continue on to the end.
So we need to vote it? No, you think you're approving or? No, no.
How many can approve?
So far, well, no, nay on these, on 3, and we have 3 here, and Ricardo and Boris, and Levy sent emails supporting the regulations.
But they're not here.
They
They're not
submitted
here.
documentation supporting the rules and regulations adoption.
Well, I'm not sure that they can do that. I know they have to be present.
You're the
Yes,
secretary,
they
you should know.
I know I should.
These rules and regulations have been out there for months. It's been almost a year since the additional rules were placed in for the parking. We had to revise the perimeter key, because the perimeter key are going to be outdated, and we have key fobs installed now through that process. We also did some minor adjustments on the sales and leases, the parking, some new items were added, and this is all in the package. As far as the key fob, that was completely done. Minor adjustments also on the elevator section, and also minor adjustments made on the penalty. So the 3 biggest items that were really gone over and over again were guests and visitors in one section, the parking is a second section, and the key fob issuance and how that process is going to work. Now, we've been working with this for about a year, and what we're trying to do here is make it as easy and as possible for those people in this building who are following the rules and regulations. We have noticed through the past 2 years, there's a number of people that do not agree with some of these rules and regulations because they're taking shortcuts, or they don't abide by the rules that were there previously. So what we're trying to do is put in rules that will satisfy every unit in this building, okay? Not only for the building, but the safety of the people in this building. And to ensure that this building has the responsibility to the unit owners that it is a secure area where if they have any guests, any visitors, that they would be responsible for their presence, and that we maintain a building that is respected by all of us. We want to ensure that the quality of life for everyone in this building is what they're looking for. And that's what I have to say.
Okay, so we have majority, and the rules and regulations have been approved.
Half is agree, half not.
Well, more. 5, we have majority of the board has approved new rules and regulations. It doesn't mean that it would get in stone. I mean, it means that additional addendum, additional suggestions from the unit owners, board members, etc., should be added, because you can't do everything at once, and it's evolution. And if we're going to present you new ideas, new thoughts, new modifications, it can be added on. So it's not like, hard and concrete. This is the starting point in my mind. We created a very comprehensive document addressing new issues that we're dealing with, especially security issues, especially fob issues, especially changes in that regard, and we'll present you on that. But so I'd like to let you know that we'll have additional sections coming in, and when we're done, I would hope maybe 90-95% we'll publish the new booklet for you to keep and refer to like we had in the past. So, go ahead.
And with that, if there's any changes that need to be modified with the current rules and regulations that have been approved, we're here to discuss those. So if there's a rule or there's a section within the rule that the rest of the board members do not agree with, we can discuss that. And if everyone agrees, on the next board meeting, we can approve those measures as well.
At least it's going to be open discussion.
Definitely, and then like in the past, we always ask for the unit owners to provide their feedback. When I created the TRS form, either through website or manual, it is a section or a check mark that you could create as a suggestion rather than trouble in your apartment, just a suggestion you make. It comes a centralized system. Victor tracks all of the TRS tickets, and we'll put it in discussion, an open discussion like we have. and we'll make changes. But we have to have new rules, especially when we're having the new systems and new items, which we didn't have before, like we were talking about security system. At this time, I'd like to get to the point where we're going to talk about project status on pool deck. Victor, are you going to address that?
On the pool, we're pretty much on standby. On the pool, we're pretty much on track. We're still, right now what we're doing is laying down the tile that goes around the pool. They had to waterproof the layer outside. Once that cured, now they're laying the tile. Once they're done laying the travertine down, then we're going to continue with the waterproofing up to the certain areas that have been selected. What happens is we're phasing out different portions of the pool deck in order to do the waterproofing. Okay. After which, then we're going to fence off one area, and I know this is the one question everybody wants to know, is when are we going to be able to swim? As we said, the pool will be done, the pool is done, the pool room is complete. In fact, if I'm able to tomorrow, I'll probably post on the monitor a few pictures of the pool, the surrounding area, and the new pool room equipment, and everything functioning. So we're good when it comes to the pool. What's next? We have the bathrooms to be done, and then to segregate the area from the pool to the rest of the deck. The reason we have to do that is if we want to apply for that temporary certificate of use, we cannot have one area under construction and the other not. Once this area has been certified that it's good, clear to go, and they can continue working over there without any debris harming the site that's not being worked on, then the city may grant us the certificate of use temporarily until the entire deck is done, and then we apply for a full CO. Okay? That's where we stand with the pool. Like I said, right now, within the next 2 weeks, you should see a lot of tile laying. You're going to be laying the tile, you're going to be structuring that area, and you should start seeing that area expand. That'll take a little while because the tile has to be laid in a form that actually coincides with the design of the pool. So we're pretty much on course there. Again, we plan on applying for the temporary CO sometime towards the end of this year or the very beginning of next year. Okay? That's where we stand when it comes to the pool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Victor. Next item is project status on security system. I'd like to give you a heads up on that. Myself and Eugene were intimately involved in this project from the beginning. We were, I would probably say that we spent an average probably 4 to 3 hours on an ongoing basis through implementation, through designing the system, making sure that we're using the best technology available to us. And I would say that what we accomplished so far is that all doors, with the exception of 2 east and west elevators for which we're waiting for the fob to be added, that's why we put the temporary key for people who already changed for the fobs to use those east and west elevators. We will have a pretty sophisticated system, I would say, better than anybody here in Wisconsin Falls. And we added some features which most people don't think about it. For example, a number of occasions you probably notice when people come in and keep the doors open, especially on east and west side entrances. Maybe sometimes they forget to close it, maybe sometimes there's broken spring, maybe sometimes somebody else is supposed to come in and they keep the doors open. So now what we did to take care of this issue, we improved our system with security and alarm that now triggers the alarm directly to the security desk, that at that point they will know that the door is open more than 15 seconds. In that scenario, the doorman, and by the way, we're not going to have doormen per se as we used to, we're going to call them rovers. These individuals are going to help security folks to accommodate the proper, making sure that all the cars that are supposed to be on the premise are on the premise, the cars are labeled properly in the proper spots. There's no more complaints from unit owners that somebody occupied their spot illegally and they have to basically raise their hands, and it's a lot of commotion at that point of time. So these folks are going to help tremendously to ensure that, helping our security system, security company to address the, I call it peace and quiet, if you will, of our building with helping resolving this. Now, all floors will have also cameras, and those cameras have no sound, so you don't have to worry about, you know, your privacy when you talk about something. This is only in case if there's somebody hurt somebody, God forbid, or if there's an issue that needs to be resolved. We have a recording for that issue. And we have also a lot of complaints that people were losing their clothes in the laundry rooms. That unfortunately happens. So now we will be able to act upon that and look at the specific area and identify who is the perpetrator is and take appropriate action. So I'm very proud that this project is almost in completion. We're going to do the final walkthrough, and we're going to make sure that all the features and functionality that was promised to us is going to be functioned, and I think ultimately everybody is going to benefit from that. So that's a major project. Is there anything else you would like to?
Yeah, with the cameras and so on, what we have done with the cameras, if your apartment happens to be right above the camera and so on, we have blocked out any portion of that door. So you can't see in who's going in and out. So just for people who are underneath the camera, so they don't think that we're invading their privacy, it is blacked out on the cameras, on the screen, so no, you can't see anything. In addition to that, with this whole security system that we put in place, it involves not only the cameras, but it involves the key fobs, it involves the intercom systems that we have there, it also involves the detections of the doors being left open for a time period, and also the new doors that are in the front entrance. That's the sliding doors, we replaced the security plexiglass doors as well, and these are all stormproof doors and so on. So that's all in there.
Okay. Any other discussion on the subject from the board members? Anything that you'd like to? Okay.
Probably we're going to discuss later, you said, regarding what we...
On the subject.
On the subject of rules. We're
Okay.
going to do later.
We'd like to have a discussion like in group at that point.
Yes, because last time it was separate two groups, which they took notes from us and a couple things that didn't pay attention to what we recommended.
So what if I suggest the following?
You're talking about...
Yeah, about security. As far as the rules and regulations, we would like to have maybe some time for unit owners to provide their feedback, as well as some people who would like to get additional feedback, and then we'll create a summary, and then we'll try to look at them.
No questions regarding cameras.
Okay, I have a question about the way that we've put the sliding doors. Is there anything that we could do at all about the security door that opens up? That security door is only 25 inches wide.
It's very narrow.
It is very narrow. I've been to the 100, the 200.
It was tall.
They were both 29 inches, which is 4 inches. That's a big difference. The 500 is 30 inches, and the 700 has double doors that just open totally.
She's talking about the doors?
The doors that open for security.
And for the guests.
So the suggestion is to have the two panels open?
It would be wonderful if you
It's
could open the two
because
panels.
people with a...
Yeah, somebody with
Walkers
a
or
walker, a
with
Basically
wheelchair.
opening side on the side.
if they can do it.
If something can be done.
The front door.
No, this is
No, I'm
something
talking
for the
about
guests.
going into security. Just security. The other two doors are
It's
fine.
not the doors
Yeah.
is fine. The security door,
Very narrow.
guests coming to security to register. If people with walkers, people with
Little bit of a
with
weight
a
problem.
problem, they can get, even fat people cannot get in.
Okay,
It's
why
too
would they be
narrow.
able to go through the main door?
Because they
Because
have to
they're
register
residents.
as a guest.
No.
They're not letting, they're not opening for them, that's the problem.
Okay, then we have to make a change.
Exactly.
Okay,
That
as
would
far
be
as the regulation, as far as the rules, how to bring people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Through
but
the
we don't need to
security.
change the physical door. We don't really need to. change it.
Honestly, it's a, they don't
Well,
pay
why did we
attention
put a
when
door
we-
at the security booth if we weren't going to use it?
No, the door that is there is provided basically
It was old
within
door?
the
It was
code
old
that
door?
is given by the city of Sunny Hills. We did not come up with we didn't come up with the thickness. It's not basically it's a
So why
coating that we
everybody
have.
has two?
They came in with the same dimensions that was there previously.
Well, now we had a chance to improve it, and we didn't improve it.
Okay, in those occasions, okay, this is like, in those occasions, when the person have difficulty, okay, if we have a security person open the door, and they go out to the main door and stop at the next. In those occasions, the person has weight issues with whatever that may be, or then should be able to use the main door, and we will have some.
But we're saying, anybody who's a visitor here, who's coming here to visit, they're handicapped, they're in a wheelchair,
But
something.
they're saying that two in there.
Yeah, but security, we'll put something in place where security will open the front doors for them, and they can go right there to security.
You have to tell us the security.
No, no, no,
Right,
that's
we
exactly-
have to make a
that's what we-
Yeah, sometimes they don't even pay attention to anything.
It is a shame, though, that we're putting in a whole new system with the doors and the security door, and we didn't accommodate the problems that we have if somebody is handicapped or whatever. So, it's a shame that we spent all that money without making it more comfortable.
I respect your opinion, Jay, but this is the codes that City of Sunny Isles and security company sets the issue for us, and we just simply have no power to change the width or thickness or any other parameters. So to accommodate this request, we will make sure that security is available to open the front door to get this path through, and then the person could easily register. That's it. I don't think we need to spend any more money on this.
Can I say about security this?
Please.
This
Okay.
boy or whatever who has to stay by the door or sit by the door, he always stay inside the security.
Special young guy, he always.
Young
the
guy
young
will
girl.
always sitting there, not staying by the door.
It's
And
true.
help invalids with chair and
Handicap.
somebody else.
That's the idea behind the whole change of their responsibility, moving from the doorman, opening the door, to performing other functions. And that would be one of the functions. And we could just make a list what they have to do, and they will assist you. They still could help unit owners with the food, groceries, they just have to be paged, and they will do that. However, they no longer need to open the doors. So we need to use them more effectively to have our place more secure and comfortable for everybody. So if we're done with the official part, I think we should go to Q&A and would like to address issues one at a time. So please feel free.
Hello, Winston Towers. My name is Sandy Thorpe. Hello, everybody. My name is Sandy Thorpe, and I've been an owner for over 40 years here on Winston Towers. I don't know how many of you are long-term residents. My mother was actually killed here in the lobby of the hotel, of the condo association in 2004. Okay, in 2005, I renovated the unit. I found a wonderful tenant, Maritza Kostopoulos, who has been my tenant now for the past 12 or 13 years, since 2005. Last week, I received, I want to also say Happy Hanukkah to everybody, and Merry Christmas, and Happy Healthy New Year. And welcome, Edgar.
Thank you.
Last week, I was very surprised to receive a notice from the property management, from Victor, telling me that my tenant, who has been here for 12 years, that her lease was not being renewed. It was a 2-paragraph letter. The first paragraph said something to the effect of that there were multiple complaints of noise that was interfering with the quality of life of the other residents.
What is apartment number?
The apartment number is 2320.
Yeah, I spoke with them today too.
This is my tenant right here.
How many people live in apartment?
In the apartment are 4 adults, 2 parents, 2 adult children. Okay, now, Never have I ever received a notice that there was any noise. This is the first issue of the, if you let me speak, I know you
Please,
want
please,
to.
I just would like
Okay.
to say one point.
Yes, sir.
This topic of discussion is for grievance committee if you disagree with the board decision as far as agreements. This is not a discussion to review specifics of the letter sent into individual unit owners on violations or things of that nature. And I would like to have that done in the proper venue.
Okay, we will, but I would like, since you are all here and I have been unable to speak to anybody, and the
This is not
board is
forum.
here.
This is not the forum to talk about it. This is not the forum to discuss specific violations, specific issues.
I think that this is not a specific issue because, I'll tell you why. Also, first of all, there is no basis for that. My tenant was never notified of any noise. I was never notified of any
That you have to follow
noise.
the law, and if you don't like to follow the rules and regulations, you have a right to object. You can go, you have seek legal help. You can do as a unit owner, perform the responsibilities of you're responsible for your tenant behavior, for their fees that they're not paying, for their calling police department and stuff like that. So let's not go in the depths of this because it's not the proper forum for this discussion. So
Okay.
let's have a separate discussion. I would like to have that done separately in the proper venue. This is not the right venue to
We
talk.
have a grievance committee for that, which is consists of unit owner itself. And management is working on it, but the board cannot discuss that because there's a job of grievance committee. It's not, we are not making decision on it. Only grievance committee who consists of unit owner itself. Check.
I have the unit owner.
Inviting the rentals, all family, and they asking what is the problem and who is complaining, and people who complaining, coming to that grievance committee.
Okay.
It's like a court, but.
I understand.
And
Okay, so
judges is,
when can we do
unit
that?
owners.
Because there were never any complaints, I'm sure.
Probably.
And this,
I would
my
say the
tenant has
building manager
been
will
for
mark
12
his
years.
praise, check with your
Even though the
availability,
grievance committee,
check with
we
the
have
availability
three people
of
in
the grievance committee members. We have that set up properly in this building, and they go not just with your specific
Because
issue,
it's
but
not
others as well.
we who
So we
make
will then,
decisions about that. It's not our, we don't supposed to do the decision on it. The unit owner itself who is in that committee. So you understand the wrong.
I still don't understand what you're saying. I am the unit owner.
Yes.
We need to discuss this issue offline,
Yes.
okay? So we'll tackle that later on.
Yeah, we're gonna explain to you
You're
after
bringing an
the-
issue to all the residents here that they don't even know. It's your concern of what's happening with your unit owner. We'll take it up with the
And yet
property
there are
manager.
other unit
Well, okay.
owners here though who have received the
this
same
is not,
notice.
this is not their area. This is not their issue. This is your issue with
Okay.
a specific decision that you're not happy
So
about.
who
The
do I
property
speak
manager
to?
will call you, we'll meet.
Exactly. And we'll make
discuss
sure
that
that there's
issue.
a
The
discussion.
property manager who told me that it was totally beyond him. When I spoke to him, when I came here last week, he said, I have nothing to do with it. This is the board.
I would like you to please sit down.
Okay?
Okay, this is not the forum to discuss this issue.
If I may,
If
if I may,
Yeah.
I'll meet with the chairman of the grievance committee, and I'll schedule with you a date for you to hold your grievance. If you're hosting a grievance, if I may, excuse me, everyone,
This is an important issue.
if I may, for purposes of discussion, if you wish to bring what your problem is, your grievance, to the membership, for them to be an audience to your grievance, that's a different story. But if you're seeking a resolve here today regarding the matter, they can't actually then
Complain
resolve.
not against you, we complain about your rentals. So grievance committee gonna talk with the rentals.
Okay, I
So,
understand.
At that point,
I'm
I
just
knew I
trying
can't.
to get it resolved because.
This is not the venue, ma'am. I'm asking you one more time.
Okay, I understand.
He already told you that it's going to be, he's gonna contact you, he's gonna talk to grievance committee members, coordinate the availability, and let you involved, your tenant involved, and get a result individually. How many times do we have to say it to you? I don't understand. What else we can do? This is not the
I don't
forum.
understand.
Please, thank you.
Can I ask about the bond issue? That.
You can ask us, please. If that applies to everybody else, then you can ask about the fob issue.
I'll discuss discuss the farm issue with, I don't know if it's really, because that was the second part of the grievance against my tenant was about parking.
Ma'am, I don't know how many times do I have to repeat to you, please. Anybody else has any other questions? Please.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruben. I did a petition about Olga Ilchenko. Tenants not agree with her, she was fired, and we asked board check what's going on and fix this. Because if somebody, if everybody agree, raise hand.
What was
Manager assistant was fired. It's not personal. She fixed everything in the office. She did a good job.
Listen, as far as the management of this building goes, okay, that's the responsibility of the board and the officers of the board. If they make a decision, okay, about an employee, a maintenance worker or whatever, to hire or terminate, that's their decision. We're not going to get the request from every board, every unit owner in here. Is that decision right or is it wrong? We're making a decision for the betterment of this building and its unit owners. So that topic is
We can see how it was before and how it's...
It's running fine. The office is running fine. In fact, it's running better. At this point in time, I'm not answering any more questions. That was a management decision and it's been taken care of.
It's not management decision. It's board decision.
It's not a unit owner's decision.
Let me just address this issue. Okay. I understand that you have a right to pursue. I understand.
This is just copy.
Okay.
We're going to continue because we don't have enough time.
Okay.
It's just 34 people say we're going to continue.
Please do so as many times as you want, as many people as you want.
Victor, you're gonna
There's a certain way how the communities in Florida, anywhere in the United States work. The unit owners elect the board. We have over 1,000 people, close to that number, living in this property. There's no way that everybody could make its individual decision based on which the decision would be used. So the board was elected to be a management arm and representative of the community. The issue here is that the board, management board, has no right to talk about personnel issue, hiring, firing discussion. It's a legal issue. We have to recognize the privacy of individuals. We have to make sure that we are not violating the law. Otherwise, we could be sued, the board could be sued, and we know what the courts could do, like we did with the balconies. We end up paying for this. There's no need for that. So the building is running pretty smooth right now. I think you can see the number of projects being implemented, which we never had in our history. I don't know, I didn't live here 40 years. I lived only maybe like 7, 8. But I could tell you that number of projects and number of things that are transpiring in this specific area is not a simple task. And if you feel that the board members are not performing the duty properly, you have a right and obligation to vote for the person that you like and feel strongly about it. And that's the only recourse that you have. All other petitions like that will only create havoc, will only create problems, and like I said, there's no one, even if I wanted to tell you what the reason is, I can't by law. Otherwise, if I did so, you would all be then coming to me and said, why are you doing it? Because you're basically jeopardizing your case for yourself, because I could be sued as a board member. So we will refrain from personnel comments and issues. And at that point, I'd like to close this question.
Okay, but why?
How many people the decision to fire?
Why you not punish person who lost checks and cash? We still don't know.
And who
how
said
much.
that? Who said that?
It was beginning of the year.
No, the person paid. Okay? The person paid.
from
And it was, wait a second, you asked me a question, okay? You asked me a question, that the person was not responsible, was not punished. It's not true. And I'm just trying to tell you this, that it's not fair to say all the time that the board is doing this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. There's no appreciation here. I don't see in the room that people are really seeing the changes. And I don't know how can you not see the changes in our building. I don't understand that.
About work,
Well, the person just stated that the work, when she was here, was great. Now she's gone, it's all bad. And so, that doesn't mean that. I don't take that. So let's just say one thing, that the board is elected. If you don't like the board, you can re-elect the board. You can re-elect the board. That's your right.
That's what we'd like to do.
Fine. So next February, this February, when they have an opportunity to, and you can raise your hand, and come here and sit down in my place and work 7 to 8 hours daily with no pay, and work day in, day out, and weekends, and then people will come to you and say, you know what? It doesn't count. It doesn't matter. So this is wrong. This is wrong. So let's be positive about this. I'm saying that we're all humans, and I would like to have the feedback from you, definitely. All board members here. We all like you. We're paying our dues. We're not just somebody.
I appreciate what you're doing.
But what I'm trying to tell you, I understand your concern, okay?
But if we not agree, you're supposed to hear us too.
Definitely. But what I'm trying to, with the question of yours is that, tell me precisely what happened. I cannot tell you precisely what happened.
Okay.
Okay? I'm just saying that management came.
People made decision to fire her, my question.
What do you mean, how many people?
To fire her.
I cannot discuss the subject, period.
But I
We
know.
need to take the negative attitudes that we have towards management and the board and turn it into a positive attitude to see what are we doing right here. And I think we're doing a lot right between the assessments, the conclusion of the lawsuit that we had against this building, what we're doing, the time that we're spending, the transparency that we have. These things you have to look at. And we're looking at everything positively. We have no negativity on this board. If we disagree, we all disagree. But we have a job to do here, and we're trying to do it to the best of our ability. And we need your support as well. You know, you're unit owners, and we like to make sure that what we're doing is for the satisfaction of unit owners, to ensure their safety, to ensure that the infrastructure of this building is being maintained because it was never maintained. And we took the lead in this to make sure that this building gets the infrastructure that was damaged, and it's being fortified the way it should.
What we can do with this patient? Where we can go?
I'm telling you right now, this decision has been made. The board has made decision, and the management, not the entire board.
Not for board.
Okay, I'm just saying this is not the decision for the board, the entire board to make decision. There's a president, there's a vice president, there's a treasurer. Okay, listen. I don't know what else I can tell you. Okay, I'm just trying to be as polite as possible, as clear as possible. That there is a way you can handle things, and I understand that. When there is a change in personnel, we'd like to have it not to happen. We'd like to have the consistency. We had an issue at certain times when we had only one employee on the maintenance staff. We have no choice as to get more people, but things leaving, and we can control this. Now, one thing is very difficult is that we all volunteers, so we cannot spend.
Nobody want to leave it.
No. The point is the management of this building. I'm just trying to clear for you so you understand that you can really appreciate this. In order to run this building, you can ask how many hours she spent on landscaping, on beautifying the building. You can ask people on grievance committee how many hours they spend to make sure that things are taken care of, like in this scenario, maybe another example for them to work. These people are volunteers. No one can force them to do their work, and they don't show up, they don't show up. If I don't show up today, you cannot fire me, technically, but what I'm trying to say is that we're trying to do the best we possibly can as human beings. We have, I think, decent experience in our previous lives in terms of the experience when we were running organizations, staffing, we ran budget, we ran technology, we've done a lot of things in our lives. That's why we felt strongly about providing value to this building. And if the building at the end of the day don't see the difference, and if the community don't feel that it's a proper service for these folks, then please, elect somebody else. And that's all I can tell you. So we'd like to take your input, and we'd like to take that's something that could be maybe done in the future to review this in certain ways, maybe have different angles, but at this point of time, we just have to move forward. We would like to continue with the projects, make sure that all things are done on time, effectively, and that's the only thing I can promise you. But other than that, I cannot comment on things of personal issue.
But I understand that question because really somebody did a huge mistake. And everything okay, they're raising her more and more position,
I'm not allowed to tell you the issues. You still don't hear me. I cannot, people don't just get fired or let go, you understand? Why would somebody do it? Apparently there are some issues that you don't know, and I cannot discuss it openly, you understand?
I know she never
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Just regarding the office hours.
Yes, please.
It's kind of difficult because the office opens at 10, goes to lunch between 1 and 2, and closes at 5. People who work from 9 to 5, you have to take like a half a day to go into the office. Is that possible, since we have 2 or 3 people, to adjust the schedule that maybe once or twice a week an office can open earlier and stay later, that people have a chance before work or after work to do whatever?
I think it's a valid suggestion. One reason why it was done, to make sure that people, which they have to follow up on things like, for example, when there is a lease, or there is a sale, or there is a lot of things that have to be done in preparation for those meetings, you need time. So if you start exactly at 9 and you got interrupted in all different directions, the tedious work that requires for proper approvals, for proper documentation, it gets very hard and pushed to the back, and sometimes delayed. So it wasn't, let me just finish this. So it was an intention to give them an hour in the morning to address that. Also, for the property manager to have another hour so he could get together with the team, set the priority, set the cases, making sure that all the complaints and all the issues are addressed in the fashion, that timely fashion. But if you're saying that it's still not working, okay, maybe we should find some kind of compromise. Maybe do it only a couple of days. Yeah, something like that. So I think suggestion is well taken. If everybody else feels that that's necessary, because a lot of people feel that, we will definitely cut it down. Definitely.
Especially with the new key and the photo that need to be taken. Everybody has to go to the office now to take a picture for the new key. You have, for at least for those period of time, you have to get the office open later because people work.
Okay.
So people cannot go before 5 to get a picture for the key.
Okay. So we just need to then pay overtime. If that's unit is No, but you're saying that people, like, in other words, suggestion was for the person that work at night and they cannot stop during the day, then they have to be able to come in, say, at 7 p.m. and do the key swaps.
What we can do in that case, the suggestion, we can discuss that, is that we can set a particular, the key fob implementation, I can't hear somebody's go. And the key fob implementation, okay, it just started a week and a half ago, okay? And it's going very well. So it would be a good idea, what your suggestion is that perhaps as we go midway through the implementation, that we'll schedule 1 or 2 days where we'll have somebody here till 7 p.m. So those who work can come in, get the new key fob, get their picture taken, and we can proceed that way. And we will not cut over the key fob system entirely until we're ensured that every unit owner has their key fob that's currently residing in the building or its tenants.
So for now, we're using, as you know, 2 systems in place, the old system and the new system. So that precisely for the reason so everybody has full accommodation. Like I said, if you feel that, call Victor ahead of time and say that you come in at, we're probably going to post a couple notes here and saying Monday from 5 to 7, we're going to have time to do it. Maybe we'll do it at the end so more people could come in and taking care of it at the same time instead of 1 by 1. So definitely great suggestion. Thank you.
Boris, I'm sorry, may I add something? So that we're aware, the office is open till 7 p.m. I know it's bookkeeping, but Tova will be able to process anyone after hours to get them into the system. So I am conscious that there are working members in this building who work till 5 and some their own. We are staying open till 7. In the very near future, I plan on reverting the office hours back to 9 to 5. And if someone needs to see me, in particularly after hours, I will do that upon request. Okay, and I will schedule some time where we can meet face to face, if we can't over the phone, whatever the situation, upon request. But the office is currently open until 7 p.m. for bookkeeping purposes, but bookkeeping will be able to process property compensation as well. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that,
But she was right before
oh, I'm so
you.
sorry. My name is Mirai Meshalom, and all what I'm asking now that you made the office and you have to go 10 steps up and then you have to go back 10 steps down, I was told that you have to go to the west elevator, go down and do the same thing. The thing is, the elevator worked 3 days and is in repair 3 weeks. Maybe it will be a good idea, part of those that allow, where you have the stairs, to make like something people who are with wheelchair can go up. And they don't have to go around the building. And I called today the office, nobody answered. I left a message, nobody called me back.
Oh, that's bad.
Okay.
Thank you. By the way, would you please use one of our TRS sheets also? Do you have a copy?
You know what?
You don't want it?
No, wait a minute. I filled up the sheet with the light in the washing machine.
No.
I know, but I did. At least 3-4 times. And really, we put you, whatever it is, who are...
So you're not getting feedback, what you're saying?
No, every time I was told it's fixed, but it really was not fixed. And now what they put, it costs us money, and people don't shut the light. So we are in square one.
Are you talking about the timer?
Victor, another item for the laundry machine.
The thing is, people don't shut the light.
We can run like a timer.
So many times, how long it takes
With the sensor in the room, after 5 minutes of inactivity, it shuts off.
pick up the lunch.
No, it's not going to pick up. They have to be.
While you're active, it should stay on.
They have to start.
When you're active, it should stay on. When there's no activity, it should go off.
I know, it's for about 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Because one camera told me that, and I told them 20 minutes.
You're still on?
No, 20 minutes, it should stay on. I'm not talking when I am here. After some have to go out and didn't shut.
Okay, so the issue here is that the timers of the laundry machine stay longer than 5 minutes, which you have to release. So we will take, as a note here, and Victor will take the maintenance personnel to inspect all the checks. No, you're right. It's, why would you have to pay something with a need?
Hey, Victor, do you know if every laundry room has those shuttle, they go off if there's motion detected?
Correct. The problem that she's speaking about is that the new motion detectors in the room, so apparently.
I'm not talking inside the room. I said when they get out, it's supposed to shut off.
The way the sensor works is when you open the door and you go inside and the little eye within the sensor sees activity, it turns the lights on.
I know that.
When there's no activity for a stagnant 5 minutes, it shuts the power off. Before we used to have little turn dials that you would turn it and set the amount of time that you needed the lights on. Once it reaches the date, they would turn them off. Unfortunately, it seems to be that some of these photo cells are giving an issue and they're not responding.
So we
that's
just,
something I need to
Victor will just go and check the timer.
I like
Okay.
economic.
No, absolutely.
She
Why
has brought
not?
this up before, Victor, and it's supposed to have been fixed. I don't know if it was fixed and it went back.
I know it,
I think we may need to go back to the drawing board.
I don't think I need that one. My question is about the new key. I'm very confused. I don't think I quite understood what is written there about the number of keys and the price of the key. I don't understand what it said there.
Okay.
Let me ask you, for example, in my home, we have 2 co-owners and we have 2 more residents living with us. And we have the old keys, which we pay $25 deposit. How much are we have to pay for the new key?
Here's the way it's gonna work. You as a unit owner, okay, let's say you and your wife, and you have 2 children with you, okay, and you have 4 perimeter keys. When you go downstairs to the office, you'll get 4 key fobs, okay? You don't have 4 key fobs, because you have 4 people that are registered in this building in the management office. So then you are, as long as you turn in a perimeter key, you are eligible to receive the 4 key fobs for free, okay?
Okay.
free of charge, right?
Free of charge.
Okay,
That's
that's a
correct.
different story.
As long as you have your
Deposit.
your
They
people
have-
documented in the office that you are a parent or mother and father or whatever it might be, and you have 2 children or you have a nephew that's registered for this building, they will get the key fob for free.
Okay.
Okay?
That's
Now,
good.
what we stated is that all of a sudden, your child's no longer living with you, you have somebody else living with you, another child or whatever, they would have to pay $50 because that's a brand new key being issued.
That will be a new key.
Right. That's
Okay, okay, thank you.
This is good to put
Okay, the
in,
gentleman here,
because
yeah.
a lot of people was asking about that issues.
Yeah.
And maybe we're gonna put some additional about the fobs, because it's really very confusing.
This is an operational,
No, because a lot of people, I remember everyone had $25 deposit.
Yes. For the maintenance of the program, and to clean that up, we're moving the $25 into the maintenance program. Okay? 25 is fine, then we go into maintenance because the time involved in issuing the key, taking the pictures, all that takes time. And it
But
takes
25 is
man-hours,
still
$25 going over to the maintenance.
What about the deposit what is
You had a
left?
question, sir?
What about the deposit what is left?
You just mentioned those key fobs, are they waterproof if you go swimming with them?
Yes. Yes.
Say again, what is the question?
If the fobs are waterproof, the fobs are
Yes, it
waterproof. So, and I suggest that if some of you know, I'm going to see if I find a little booklet of accessories for you to be able to look at, but when the pool's open, you will be able to have a little wristband, you can put your fob there, and you can go swimming with your wristband with your fob, but yes, they are waterproof.
And because I'm single, I received only 1 pod.
Yeah.
If I should lose that, do I have to pay for another one?
Yes.
Because originally I should be entitled to 2.
Not if
If
you're
you're only one
single.
person, then you
If you lose it, you gotta pay for a new key fob.
And I'd like to know if the notes or the minutes could be put on the website so people who don't live here all the time know what's going on.
Yes, that's what we're doing in the past. I think we're a little bit delinquent in that, which is an absolutely excellent point. I think, Victor, we just had so many things going on, and we got a little bit delayed here, and we tasked Victor to come up and update the website within the next 10 days. All the reports that he generates on a monthly basis, all financial statements that you're going to see there, and all the contractual agreements that we signed should be there. So he will update that, and absolutely, we are slightly behind.
Please note, just to add to you, for example, on the website, we'll place the minutes for the August meeting, which were approved tonight. At the next meeting, when we approve the minutes for this meeting, then they will become available. Minutes cannot be posted if not approved by the board.
Exactly, so there is a delay there as well.
I see. And the plan is you're going to put tiles on the pool deck around the pool. What's the plan for the rest of the surface of the deck?
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
Would be all waterproof completely. The color would be, we're going to post on the front. We're going to meet with the designer, the architect. We're going to have all together, get with her when she, probably the next, week or so?
Yeah, I think within the next week.
because we will all consume right now the office and Victor and everybody else were the mailings and staffing. It was a lot of work to be done in preparation for our upcoming events. But we're going to ask her to put together 2 demonstrations where the unit owners will provide their feedback and that in terms what they would prefer, and then based on that, we'll execute. But the pool itself is going to be, no matter what, it's going to be the same. In other words, the surface, I don't know if you saw it or not, Victor's going to post it on TV. I saw it, it's very pretty, especially at night with the light changing, and it's really beautiful. So you'll be proud of it. I think the pool itself, we tested for the leakage. It passed through. Initially, as you know, it didn't. So it created additional delay for us, for the contractor to take care of that issue. The facilities for the machinery, it's state-of-the-art. And I would say that once we get those 2 drawings, we'll get your feedback and proceed from there. But as far as the pool deck itself, it's going to be nice looking, clean look at that.
And exactly when can we use it?
It all depends on the implementation of the pool itself, because now when the pool is finished, now we need to finish the tiling around it, and we have to get the bathrooms finished, because we waited like almost a month and a half with the city. I mean, I don't know why it takes so long. Now we're waiting for the temporary.
Everybody now. They waited 2 months of approval of the permit.
Yes.
Now even for unit owner, 2 months.
So
Unfortunately, that has been the truth.
that's an issue. So I would say, I don't want to overpromise and under-deliver, so I have to be careful. But it sounds to me, because after the meeting with the contractor, we are progressing gradually. You can see, I don't know, it depends where you live, probably not from your side, but from another side you can see the pool. And, it's going to be nice. But I don't know quite honestly exactly. It depends on the city approval of temporary permit. I'm sorry?
Is it going to be ready in May?
No, I hope not, no. Shouldn't be that way.
Much.
No, should be sooner than that. But like I said, it's outside of our control, as you know.
May could be a very drastic, far-fetched, far.
Yeah,
I just want to do a job.
Okay, you have another question?
I realize that all of you board members work voluntarily and appreciate it. The management office is paid. The people that work in the management office is paid. Somebody should answer the phone during business hours. Last Monday, I called 3 times during the day, various times, business hours, no one answered the phone. Today, and then last Tuesday, I actually had to come here when Victor told me that my issue was a board issue and not a property management issue. Okay, fine.
It has to be
Today,
addressed by the board, yes.
and yes, so then, again, I called today, 10:30, no answer.
That's not acceptable.
Around 2:30, I did speak to somebody, I left a message for Victor, I got no call back. 4 o'clock, I called again, no answer. So,
No,
I mean,
that's
these
absolutely
people are
fair.
being paid to answer the phone and should be at least available during
That's right.
business hours.
You're absolutely right.
Thank
There's no disagreement here.
I know that it's very,
I'd like to,
just say something.
go ahead.
I know it's very irritating when you make a call, because it happens to me, when you make a call, you don't get a call back. I'm not making any excuses, but I know that the current staff in the office is very busy, okay? But there's no excuse for them not calling you back the next day at least. Give them 1 day to return your calls. Unless it's an emergency, state that it's an emergency, and if it's a real emergency regarding water leaks, of course, we're going to take care of that immediately. But it has been very busy due to the conversion of the perimeter keys to the key fobs, taking pictures, running around, taking care of the building and so on. But if we actually have patience that if you don't get a call right away and you have to call again and you don't get a response, let Victor be aware.
Did you have a voice message option?
I did.
And you left a message?
I left 3 messages today.
Victor, this is not acceptable. We have to take care of
For
it.
those of you, you're absolutely correct, it's not acceptable. I'm going to address the issue tomorrow in the office, not to make excuses, because I don't like to make excuses for solutions, but like Eugene says, we have been busy. I will correct this issue for those of you who have had this problem, and I will make sure that someone is answering the phone regardless of their current duty at that moment. Okay, 'cause I know that that's what's happening. And I will
I
correct
was a witness. She was making pictures, she could not pick up the phone, and she is only one person in the initial office. And the bookkeeper who is replaced, a second one, she coming 11 o'clock, and she is doing her job meanwhile, and between the, being in charge of garage. So we're asking, like, excuse for this short time, that's way short of stuff.
Usually when you work somewhere with the public, you call in between, before you take the next customer.
No,
You
she was
return the
already
call.
with the customer, that she
Okay,
couldn't pick up
once
the
you
phone.
finish with that customer and somebody already called, she should return the call and take again.
No, leave a message, it's very
No,
important. Leave
but
a
she's saying
message.
that he wasn't responding, and I think that it's, we have to sit down and figure out why and find out the solution. We should be able to forward the call, if somebody's not able to answer, then it should be forwarded to another person. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, motion for adjournment. Second. Meeting is over.
Thank you.